Illini. Ivory Crawford's second game back after missing 6 with a knee injury. Outside of that, this lineup has not changed much here for Illinois. And for Minnesota, how about Shea Kelly? She is a difference maker for the Gophers. Minnesota 5-0 when she leads them in scoring this year. Two of these teams looking to get back on the winning track. Minnesota has dropped 3 of the last 4. The Illini looking to snap out of a 7-game losing skid. Now 6 of those 7 without Ivory Crawford. Shea Kelly with the tip. Battling for it is Shane Mullaney. And Brian, Illinois starting out in a man-to-man, but we might see a lot of zone here between these two teams tonight.
Yes, they're a team that's going to change defenses from man to zone, and then they're going to go into a really aggressive trapping zone. They call it their buzz defense.
Very effective. It turns teams over, and it's something that has been a staple here of Matt Bolon since he's come here to Champaign. A turnover there for Minnesota. That could be a concern there for the Gophers. They turned it over 22 times against Northwestern, and the turnaround falls there for Jackie Grant.
Yeah, Jackie Grant's a key player for Illinois. They need to get her established, and that takes a little bit of pressure off White.
Keep an eye on that Shatrice White, Amanda Zowie B matchup. It's something that we highlighted at the top. But a good 1-2 punch with Jackie Grant and Shatrice White there for Illinois. They complement each other well down on the inside, and Illinois clearly trying to go Jackie Grant's way early on.
Yeah, they are. I think that they're trying to keep Zowie B on the move, trying to get her out of the lane. Illinois is going to play against a lot of zone defense tonight from Minnesota.
The pull-up. Wagner in and out. Carly Wagner has been absolutely red hot. Double figures in 5 straight games here coming into tonight.
Illinois has put an emphasis on defensive rebounding. They've not been strong in that area, but the last 2 practices they put in a ton of time. And there you go. I mean, they're spreading, getting that zone spread out.
Jackie Grant can hit that outside shot. In fact, it's what makes her so effective. She can face up along with Shatrice White, and it's 4 points here for Illinois early on, all from Jackie White. And again, another turnover forced here for Illinois. Brittany Carter on the push. They're going to call an offensive foul on Ivory Crawford. The first personal on Ivory Crawford. You look at Marlene Stallings, who's talked about the February fight with her team, looking for her team to step up the intensity here this month. Kelly looking to turn the corner. Minnesota really struggling here offensively out of the gates.
Illinois is doing a great job of congesting the lane. I mean, they're making both post players play into a lot of congestion.
Starting out 0 for 4 here from the floor, and that's the second look. It's almost deja vu there for Jackie Grant. All 6 of the Illini points now come from Grant. Pull-off 3 way off the mark for Michaela Bailey. And Illinois off and running. Here's Crawford. The look for Carter. Brittany Carter, normally number 20 in your scorebook, sporting the number 1 here tonight.
I can see Minnesota's highly aware of Crawford in the open floor. They're really focusing on her.
Shane Mullaney knocks down the 3, a much-needed bucket here from Minnesota, who started out 0 for 5 here tonight. Crawford, the spin. Gets her own rebound and put back, and Ivory Crawford is on the board.
Ivory Crawford, that's her game right there. Attacking the rim, finishing at the rim, drawing fouls.
And another turnover there for Minnesota. Let's go back to that Crawford bucket.
Very good poised move right there, and then follows her own shot. Strong finish.
Matt Bolon and his coaching staff have said that Ivory Crawford is not 100%, but just having her out there, Brian, lifts this Illini team.
There's no question that it gives confidence to all the other players on the team, knowing that they have somebody that's that aggressive.
Jackie Grant now a perfect 4 for 4 here to start tonight. Grant now 8 of the Illini's first 10 points. Kelly off the glass and in.
That's an element Shea Kelly brings to this Minnesota team. She's one of the best athletes and best finishers in the Big Ten.
Decided her play her senior year at Minnesota. One of those players who graduated after 3 years, came from Old Dominion. Matt Bolant happy with the attitude and the energy of his team at practices. That, and with Ivory Crawford back, he hopes that's the winning formula. You were at practice this week, Brian, and you were impressed with the attitude that they had.
Very impressed. You know, it's tough to be in a 7-game losing streak, and they did a great job, very positive meeting, gave the team a lot of hope, and they've come out very inspired today.
Meanwhile, Minnesota still struggling here from the floor. 2 of 8 here to start. .15.5 to play. Carter thought about it. They'll work it around again to Ivory Crawford. In and out. Into the hands of Shatrice White, who kicks it back out, and it's a fresh shot clock here for Illinois. They get it back out to White.
Both teams.
It has been the first few minutes dominated here by Illinois. It's a 10-5 advantage for the home team. Have a little bit of swagger too, and some of that swagger coming tonight from, you saw her, the sophomore Jackie Grant, now 8 points, 8 of the 10 here for Illinois.
Jackie Grant's been very active, and they kept her on the move, and they found her on baseline jump shots.
Kelly taking it right at Grant for 2.
Shea Kelly is a player from Minnesota that can create her own shot. They're going to isolate her in one-on-one situations.
Coming off in a game where she scored 6 points against Northwestern in 27 minutes, and the 3 there for Simmons. Kylie Simmons has been quite an addition here for Illinois.
Yeah, she's a transfer. Coach Bolant recruited her when he was at Green Bay, and then she followed it up by coming here to Illinois, and obviously the leader of their team, the vocal leader.
You could tell at shoot-around today, she was the voice that we heard constantly. And when we talked about why she decided to circle back and play again for Matt Bolant after being recruited when he was at Green Bay, she decided to go to Missouri and then decided to play for him again. She said because he was real. Yeah, and he's honest and tells the truth.
Yeah, she has a lot of confidence and a lot of comfort with him.
Going down low to White, who's still scoreless here tonight. 13-7 edge here for Illinois.
They don't want White outside. They're going to need her down there to guard Zoe. And right there, they took advantage of it.
Amanda Zowie now with her first 2, really her first touch that she's gotten here tonight.
That was the one possession. There was not the congestion there.
Her first touch coming with about 14 minutes to go here in this first half. Ivory Crawford, this spin. It didn't even look like she looked at the basket with that.
Very aggressive, poised, under control, on balance. Nice finish off the glass.
Crawford now with 4 points. The lead 15-9 now for Illinois. Shane Mullaney working the baseline again. Another touch for Zowie and another bucket.
Great pass there. The one thing I'm impressed with Minnesota's guards is how efficient they are. All 3 of their starting guards have a positive assist to turnover ratio. And when that happens, obviously they're going to get shots on goal.
Jackie Grant hit from the other side this time, and Grant so effective here tonight.
Illinois obviously has found something there by popping her out on the baseline.
A perfect 5 for 5 here tonight for 10 points, and score the goal here for Carly Wagner.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Wagner, a freshman. Has a knack to score the basketball. The 3-point line, pull up jump shots, and can finish.
Hit the go-ahead bucket against Illinois, Indiana, a couple of big buckets. Hit a game-tying bucket against Maryland, a foul on the floor, and count the bucket there for Ivory Crawford.
Yeah, even against the zone, Illinois setting pick and rolls. And it's distorting the zone. It's giving Ivory a chance to get in the lane and create.
Take another look. Crawford showing their muscle. Double figures in 12 of the last 13 games. The foul going to Joanna Hedstrom.
I think it's obvious to see when she's on the floor and aggressive like this how it frees everything up for her teammates.
It was almost a sigh of relief for teammates. I mean, in fact, when we were talking to Kylie Simmons at shoot-around, they said they feel like a different player. And the quick transition bucket again for Zowie.
Zowie B running the floor, great pass. Their guards are, like I said, they're very efficient. They're going to find the open man.
Shatrice White has been scoreless. Still can't find the bucket. White now 0 for 3 from the floor. Kelly on the move. The left side won't fall.
I think you'll start seeing them put White in pick and rolls and moving her down the rim and try to get her on the move a little bit. It's going to be hard for her to score down here with this kind of congestion, although that was a great move there.
And she's fired up, goes up against one of the best post players in the Big Ten. And the freshman draws the foul, and she'll go to the line when we come back. Shatrice.
She has three-point range.
Shatrice White drawing the first foul there on Amanda Zowie B. And White, up until that bucket, was held scoreless, but she's now got 3.
Yeah, I like that one-on-one move by White and the way she finished in traffic and with congestion and really played a real strong move.
Deep attempt doesn't fall here for Bailey. And Illinois has done a great job keeping Minnesota off the offensive boards.
That's been a big emphasis in their practices the last 2 days, is just not giving up second shots. They're a team that gives up a lot of second shots, and to this point, they've done great in that area.
0 offensive boards here so far for Minnesota. 4 total for the game, but Illinois leading in that category 11-4. 5 seconds to shoot here for the Illini. They got to put it up. Simmons does. And again, Minnesota looking for the deep ball, but Wagner can't put it away.
Well, that's 2 finishes they've missed in transition. That might come back to haunt.
Under 11 to play here in the first half. 23-15 is the advantage here for Illinois.
I kind of think Illinois will try to get it in the high post here.
It's a 3 attempt there for Crawford. Jackie Grant, who came out red hot in double figure scoring here with 10, is on the bench right now here for Illinois. There's an offensive look and a second chance here for Minnesota. And another chance. Back-to-back offensive looks. And an offensive foul there called on Amanda Zowie B. That'll be her second.
Yeah, great offensive rebound. And Illinois needs to try to continue keeping them in glass. Look at this position down here by Zowie B. Deep post, deep position, offensive board finish.
Well, they're lining up for Amanda to shoot a free throw. So they're reversing that foul call. So they're going to call Shatrice White there for the foul, and so count the and 1 there for Amanda Zowie B. She's now got 9 points here tonight.
That was a big possession by Minnesota. They needed to get a second shot. Zowie B another touch. There's a high post catch.
Jackie Grant draws the foul. Carly Wagner's first.
Jackie Grant's handling the basketball on the high post and the baseline has been a very positive aspect for Illinois.
Been up and down here this year. She knocks down the first free throw. She had a game where she scored 29 points against Penn State, had 15 rebounds against Iowa. But statistically, it's been an up and down affair for her.
Yeah, she has the potential. She's a sophomore, but an individual was plagued by a bunch of injuries last year.
The 3 attempt there again doesn't fall for Wagner. Kylie Simmons running things at the point here for Illinois. Mara Coleman, number 10, in for the first time here for the Illini. The kick out. Ashley McConnell's first attempt. And the nice dump down. It's Grant with the finish.
Great pass by Coleman. Coleman's been a player since Ivory Crawford has been out, has stepped up and been positive. Even though they haven't seen the success on the floor, she's been very good at scoring and rebounding, and then she plays both in the perimeter and in the post.
When she found Jackie Grant nicely, he was still yet to miss a shot tonight. A perfect 6 for 6 here from the floor, a jump ball. This is what you were talking about. Amara Coleman coming off the bench finds Jackie Grant.
Penetrates, draws the defense, dishes, great cut, finish.
Amara Coleman has started 6 times, and as you mentioned, 5 of those 6 with Ivory Crawford out.
You know, even though Illinois plays zone, their zone is very active, and they cover a lot of ground. And they keep, to this point, they've congested the lane quite a bit.
Grant, that is her first miss tonight. Into the hands of Michaela Bailey. Carly Wagner there from deep, and she connects her first 3 tonight.
Yeah, she got her feet set on that one. They found her on the backside of the zone.
Wagner now 2 for 6.
Important time for Illinois with both Crawford and White out of the game if they can sustain their lead. Big shot.
A big shot coming from the freshman. Coleman gives the Illini a 9-point lead.
Same thing. Backside of that zone, they've got to close out.
Wagner now with back-to-back 3s. She's got 8.
She will take and she will hit big shots.
Mentioned her hit a couple against Indiana, hit that game-time 3 against Maryland that narrowly forced an overtime. There's an answer from Kylie Simmons from behind the arc.
I'm impressed by their pass fakes against the zone. They're freezing the defense and creating shots on the next pass.
Lead back up to 9. Down low to Amanda Zowie B. Handles it, turns, and scores.
That's an area in the buzz defense and in the zone that gets extended. That middle of the court high-low pass has always been there, and they're going to have to keep a body on Zowie B.
It was one of the emphasis at shoot-around for Marlene Stallings. Helps when you have a target like Amanda Zowie B down there.
Sure does.
And it's Simmons from deep. 1 from the left, 1 from the right. Kylie Simmons has found her stroke from behind the 3-point arc.
Off a couple of really good practices. They've had a very important team meeting on Tuesday's practice. It set the tone for their 2 practices, Tuesday and Wednesday, and they've carried it right into this game.
Alongside the Los Angeles Sparks head coach Brian Agler, I'm Lisa Bynes. We're happy you could join us for Game 2 here of women's basketball on BTN. Going down low to Jackie Grant. And Shatrice White was battling for it. It'll be Minnesota basketball.
Yeah, I think she was unsure what to do right there. She got to the ball, but I think she gambled on trying to get the call from the official.
Carly Wagner has hit a couple of shots as of late. Make it a 3rd straight shot there for the freshman.
I'm really impressed with Wagner. I mean, her ability to take this big shot, being brave like that, and then obviously finishing.
Shooting 50% from 3. She's into double figures now at 10. Has held quiet here to start this first half and has really come alive in the last few minutes. Carter taking it to the hoop.
Good move, 3-second call.
And a turnover there for Illinois. Just the 3rd here tonight here for the Illini.
I think that's a good point there. They're a team that has a negative assist turnover ratio, but tonight they're very efficient with the basketball.
And a foul there on the floor. It's going to go against Illinois. And it'll go against Kylie Simmons.
Minnesota, you know, I think this play right here, I think Illinois felt like they were going to get a call right there on the charge, and then stop playing.
Here comes Carter leading the break. She has Ivory Crawford on the right side. Illinois will reset here in the half court. Crawford out to Simmons. It's been the hot hand from deep. Back out to Brittany Carter. 12 to shoot here for Illinois. They leave Simmons all alone. The pump fake, but she misses everything. 3 on the shot clock. White's got to put it up. I don't think she knew that the shot clock did not reset.
I think that's just inexperience of coming out of high school, not having a shot clock, and didn't realize.
And she can shoot it from back there. She's made 20.
She's got three-point range.
It was 4 of 8 and 1 point against Nebraska in late January. But another turnover there for Illinois. So now back-to-back turnovers here for the Illini. Kelly going baseline, stepped on the baseline, and the Gophers give it right back.
Yeah, Illinois is doing a good job of disguising their defense. They're matching up, looks like in man-to-man, but when they start sending cutters through, they stay in that zone.
The skip out to Ivory Crawford, and she nails it.
Good shot. She's really improved her three-point shooting over her career. I mean, her statistics across the board have improved, but that's an area that she's really improved on.
Amanda Zowie from up top. An offensive look there from Shea Kelly, who draws the foul. They say it's a shooting foul. She's going to go to the line. Ivory Crawford shoots nearly 40% from deep. You can't leave her open.
Now, she got her feet set there. Illinois is doing a good job of distorting that zone and finding shooters on the backside.
And off the Zowie B miss, Shea Kelly drawing the foul there on Illinois to get the first free throw attempts for her tonight.
Shea Kelly is very active on the offensive glass. She's tough to block out, and she's a good finisher.
The first few minutes of this game, Brian, you talked about how Illinois had kept Minnesota off the offensive boards. They're now at 3, and that one making a difference there for the Gophers, getting some points off of that effort.
Yeah, that's going to be important for Minnesota. Up to this point in this game, Illinois has done a great job, but historically on the season, they've not been very strong in that area.
The kick out there to Jackie Grant, and that is her shot from the baseline. Grant has only missed 3 times here tonight. It'll be Minnesota basketball coming the other way. So Shatrice White will take a seat. It'll be Crawford and Carter and Grant and Simmons. And now Amara Coleman back in here for Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois is in their man-to-man defense, but they switch almost every time there's an interchange.
Creating the turnover there, off and running, out to Crawford. It's Coleman with the putback, and she can't put it away.
Good transition, just didn't finish.
Illinois will get another chance at it. Under 4 to go. 5th offensive rebound for Illinois. Simmons there drawing the foul on Carly Wagner. Looked awfully impressive, has led the entire.
Vivian Stringer in the highest regard. Have the utmost respect for those people, both as people and coaches.
We look at who she's had on her staff. Tia Jackson, Michelle Edwards, Tasha Pointer, all players who once played for her either at Iowa or at Rutgers.
There's a lot of confidence there.
Michelle Edwards is her director of basketball operations. She could play a little bit at Iowa as well.
That's quite a team right there.
That's your starting 4 right there. 3.5 to play here in this first half. Simmons thought about it, stepped back.
Illinois is doing a great job of being patient against this zone. They're analyzing, they're trying to distort it, they're making the extra pass, handling the ball in the high post, handling the ball in the short corner.
11 assists to 4 turnovers. That's something that jumped out to you right away.
It is, because they're a team on this season that has been in the negative in assist to turnover ratio. And right now, to this point, they've been very efficient tonight.
And another offensive board here for Illinois. Simmons will try from deep. she is red hot from back there.
You noticed on their passing of the zone, they're making a ball fake, a pass fake to get the defensive shift, and they pass the other way, which creates openings.
4 3-point makes here for Kylie Simmons. All 12 of her points have come from behind the arc. Here's Wagner. He's hit a couple of threes. Mulaney was looking in the corner there to Bailey and picked off. So back the other way. Here comes Cooper with Coleman. Amara Coleman draws the foul there for Illinois and gets it on Shea Kelly. Kylie Simmons has found her range from behind the three tonight.
Yeah, she's not only the vocal leader and the leader on the floor, she's a point guard, but tonight she's got her feet set and knocked down 3-point shots.
Only missed 2 shots from back there. As I said, all 12 of her points coming from the three, as Coleman can't connect on the first free throw attempt. Mara Coleman played 25 minutes against Wisconsin as she returned to coming in that 6th player spot, now with Ivory Crawford back in. Coleman now with 4 points.
I like her presence on the floor. She gives somebody an amount of pressure to the basketball, but she also is doing a good job of being aggressive, taking the ball to the basket.
Down low to Amanda Zowie B. Gets it right back. The putback is good, and count the goal and the foul.
That was impressive there. She played in a double team, played in congestion. Great deep post up here. Great catch. Congestion. Stayed with the play. Strong move and a finish.
The second personal on Ivory Crawford with just 2 minutes to play here in this first half. Zowie B has 13 points, but it's almost been kind of a quiet 13.
She's had to work for them. She's done a good job of catching the ball inside. Illinois has done a great job of congesting her, not giving her a lot of second shots.
13 points, 3 boards. Of course, Amanda Zowie B, 16 double-doubles here for the year. Make it 4 boards as she corrals that one.
That time Minnesota ran the shooter off the 3-point line, and up until then they were catch and shooting.
An 11-point advantage. Largest lead tonight has been 13 for Illinois. Minnesota has not led once. There's Shea Kelly on the left side. Just beat her man one-on-one.
Yeah, Shea Kelly, great drive in the tunnel to the rim. I was surprised that Illinois didn't bring more help there.
Illinois trying to work it around. They
find Grant on the baseline again.
They go for Carter. And Grant kicks it out to Ivory Crawford. And another offensive look.
Smart move out here, controlling the tempo of the game. They've got the lead. Let Minnesota play more defense.
Crawford out to Simmons. Ready? The drop-down pass baseline, and patience pays off. Ivory Crawford for 2.
You know, Simmons done a great job right there, penetrating and passing. She's not quite as good a shooter off the dribble, but when she puts the ball on the floor, she's going to turn into a player that's going to create for others.
Marlene Stallings wants to talk about it here with 14 seconds to go.
People at the top of the key on the baseline on the backside of the zone.
They average 6 3-point makes per game. They have 6 right now at the end of the first half. Coming out of the timeout, here's Minnesota, and they turn it around for Ivory Crawford. The pick for 2 and counting. What a turn of events here for Illinois.
Minnesota is usually very good in dead ball situations like that. And I was surprised that they turned over, although Illinois put the quick trap on the ball handler, and Ivory Crawford ran through the passing lane.
Not what Minnesota wanted, in particular coming out of that Marlene Stallings timeout. Seven steals now for Illinois, and Crawford makes good on the and one. Down low to Amanda Zowie B, who was absolutely wide open. Zowie B with 15 points here to end the half. It's a 13-point advantage. advantage here for Illinois, who's got all the momentum.
9 Minnesota turnovers turned into 12 points.
Illinois averages forcing 22 turnovers against their opponents. It's almost right on target there after half number one. 48-36 as we begin the second half. Illinois 3 players in double figures. Jackie Grant with 14, Ivory Crawford with 15, and we showed you what Kylie Simmons has done with 12.
Great ball fake.
White was looking down to Jackie Grant. And a foul on the loose ball.
You know, a lot of times in games, the team that's most hungry and the teams that are most aggressive, just like this, Illinois really going after the basketball, they're going to get the call.
Michaela Bailey whistled for her first personal. A fresh shot clock. They get it out to Shatrice White, who ran right into Amanda Zowie B, and there's a block from Zowie B. The Big Ten's best shot blocker said not now and not today on that one.
Yeah, Shatrice White's being aggressive. She's not quite as effective going left as she is right, and she went right into congestion there.
Amanda Zowie B's first block here tonight. 192 career blocks in 2 years. See what she's done here in the conference. 7th in the country with those numbers. White dumping it down to Jackie Grant. Grant gets it right back. That one in and out.
Illinois very active on the offensive glass. Sometimes it's not getting the first rebound. It's a tip out. Creates second opportunities.
Look out, Kylie Simmons' first attempt in the second half. Too strong. Still waiting on our first points here of the second half. And Carter was off the mark. The putback there from the freshman, Shatrice White.
You know, Illinois had the ball there for 1 minute and 15 seconds and finally got the basket.
Illinois dominating the rebounding category. He talked about that. 16-4 so far. Bailey off the mark into the hands of Jackie Grant. A 17-4 offensive rebounding advantage here for Illinois. And a traveling call. Shatrice White shuffled her feet before she knew where she wanted to go.
Yeah, you can see Illinois trying to handle the ball in the high post to White. She just got in a hurry there.
Shatrice White and Jackie Grant, you see their skill set. They can face up or post up there on the block. The kick out to Bailey for 3. Battling for the loose ball in the putback there from Carly Wagner, who's got 12. Wagner, Zowie B, and Kelly combined for 35 of Minnesota's 38 points.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Wagner tonight.
Another block there from Zowie B. Gets it into the hands of Wagner. She has Bailey on the left side. A nice dump down pass and transition there for Minnesota. And the 2 for Kelly.
Minnesota's very organized on their transition. They'll send a post player rim to rim. And most times they outrun their opponents.
Crawford gets bodied there on the penetration. Illinois here up 10. But Minnesota trying to make a charge the transition way.
Yes, off the block shot. They pass the ball down the sideline. Shea Kelly runs rim to rim.
Simmons going down low to Shatrice White. Gets it right back. Wow. The reverse up and over the outstretched arms of Amanda Zowie B.
Yeah, great aggressive play by White.
White's putback gives her 7 for the game. Perfect pass there down to Amanda Zowie B.
That was a good set by Minnesota. As you saw, they overloaded one side of the floor, which took the help side away, and they could get the isolation to Zowie B.
Give the assist to Shea Mullaney. Zowie B now with 17.
Good ball fakes.
And Zowie B going to get whistled for the foul. So the second personal on Amanda Zowie, but on offense, very effective.
As you can see, Minnesota overloaded the right side of the floor, and then it left an isolation there for Zowie.
3 of 10 from Ivory Crawford. And Mulaney will take a triple try, and she hits it.
You can sort of sense Minnesota starting to get the momentum down here. Illinois hadn't shot the ball as well. They haven't finished. Minnesota just feels like they're getting in a groove.
Shane Mulaney with her second three-point make here tonight. Soft touch won't fall there for Jackie Grant. Minnesota with another chance. The take from Shea Kelly.
Minnesota's had 2 or 3 possessions where they've gotten the ball to the rim, uncontested shots, and missed finishes.
Drop down pass, Ivory Crawford to Shatrice White.
Great pass there by Crawford. What I like about her is her body control. She seems to be on balance, whether she's finishing or passing.
They were looking for Shea Kelly. It'll be Minnesota taking the ball out. Dawn Staley doing a wonderful job there as the head coach. She's got things rolling there at South Carolina. Out to Wagner from the baseline. Now that's a 2 there for Carly Wagner.
Yeah, I've watched Minnesota play. They're very good on their baseline out of bounds plays. They take their time, they read the defense, they make the right cut, and they make the right pass.
To Jackie Grant, and that is her shot tonight.
We've really seen that a lot tonight. They've been very effective that way. Run her on the baseline, reverse the ball. Zowie doesn't come out of the paint to get her. Not that they want her to, but that's what's open.
Shooting 50% from the floor for 16 points here to lead the Illini. Again, it's Wagner with the response on the other end. Carly Wagner averages 10. She's got 16 tonight.
Wagner's kept them in striking distance here.
Minnesota has had pieces in place like a Carly Wagner coming in. They need to step up their game because of Rachel Bannum's injury out for the year, and this is really what some of their starting 4 have done this season.
You know, Rachel is a great player. She'll have a great comeback next year. If healthy, she would have been a lottery pick in the draft this year.
She can still be a lottery pick after playing a 5th year next year. And some of the mock drafts, even for the WNBA, they have her still picked as the top 10 pick. And there's a bucket there for Simmons, a 2-pointer. We haven't seen any of those from her yet tonight. She's got 14.
That buzz is getting aggressive now.
Rachel Bannum, now more in a cheerleader kind of coaching role. We saw her at shoot-around actually picking up a basketball and shooting. This is what she did against Illinois last year, 2013, a couple years ago. She's put up more than 30 points in that game. Ivory Crawford. Into the hands there of Shatrice White for another offensive board. Illinois averages just under 12 offensive boards here for this season, each game. And there's the response there from Bailey.
One thing you have to do against Minnesota is they're going to come down. You know, you think they have somebody like Zowie, they're going to be patient and come down and pound it inside, but they'll come down and spray the floor and shoot quick threes.
Illinois has 18 offensive boards here tonight. As I was saying, they average just about 12 per game here for the year. In multiple state tournaments when she was in high school. Grew up in a little rural town just about 2.5 hours outside of Minneapolis. But Marlene Stalling says because of the experience that she's had as a high school player, always been the go-to player, she's not afraid to take that big shot. There from the corner, another big shot, ringing up from Michaela Bailey, and don't look now, but it's a three-point advantage.
Yeah, I sort of felt that coming on here. You know, I don't think if you ask Minnesota, they've played great to this point, but they have to be encouraged by being only down 3 with 12 minutes left.
Illinois hit 6 3-pointers in the first half. They're looking for their first three-point make, and there it is from Ivory Crawford.
Yeah, that's a big shot by Ivory Crawford. That's what you want from your leaders.
The first three-point make here of the second half. Count the bucket. And Amanda Zowie-B will get a chance for an and one at the free throw line.
Minnesota's smart. They're going to come down and run their post players. Zowie-B to the block, get her the ball before the congestion can get set.
The foul credited to Jackie Grant. Now this is all happening with Shatrice White on the bench. She picked up her third foul before we went to the break.
It'll be interesting to see how long they hold her out. They need her big body to play up against Zowie-B. Here she comes.
Sat out all of about 40 seconds before Matt Bolon said we got to get her back in. So White waiting to check in. Here's a three there from Kylie Simmons, and Illinois really needed that kind of answer.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of playing inside out, handling the ball in the block, but in that case, the high post area kicking back out to the backside.
Minnesota momentum building. Illinois needed a response. Simmons now 5 of 8 here from 3. Seven to shoot. Shane Mullaney drawing the foul there on Amara Coleman. Minnesota made important for Illinois to kind of try to fill the pieces with Ivory Crawford being out.
Yeah, I know she hasn't played much tonight, but in their practices, they've had her in the rotation with the starters. So, you know, we may see her tonight before it's over with.
Again to Carly Wagner. A little bit too strong on that attempt. They turn it right over into the hands of Amanda Zowie-B.
That was a great hustle play. Minnesota stayed with the play right there.
Another 20-point game for Zowie-B. She's got 21 tonight. With the Big Ten's co-players of the week, averaging 14.5 points, 14 boards, and 8 blocks in 2 games last week. A second chance look there for Illinois.
And Minnesota's gradually getting back in this game, and a big part of that is not turning the ball over.
And the 2 there for Shane Mullaney. This is a team that trailed by as many as 14 has now cut the lead again to 3.
Now each time Illinois has been in this position, they've come down and hit a big shot.
Verse can't convert. For Taylor Tuck, who's in for the first time here for Illinois. Minnesota on a 14-7 charge. Mullaney off the high screen from Zowie-B.
Big defensive possession there by Illinois. I was surprised that was a shot they ended up getting, though.
Just the forced miss here for Shea Kelly. Under 10 to play. The drop-off pass from Coleman. Finding Shatrice White, and that's why she's back in this game.
Yeah, good, strong, poised move by Shatrice White.
Playing with 4 fouls. Matt Bolon electing to get her back in and play the final 10 minutes. She's bodying up Amanda Zowie-B. A long pass. Put those hands to save it. Out to Bailey. And White brings it down.
You know, Coach Bolon, you know, he's sitting here with a 7-game losing streak, and, you know, you have to gamble on somebody like White, whether you play him or not with 4 fouls, but obviously going to go that way.
Move around against that Minnesota zone when Illinois has done. Whoa. A hard collision. Shea Kelly went up for it. And she's going to come down with the personal.
Yeah, that was a very good shot fake, obviously.
Let's take another look.
So Shea Kelly closes out right here. Good shot fake and collision.
That is her second personal. Illinois has spread the scoring around here tonight. 4 players in double figures. They had 3 in double figures by the half. Brittany Carter. Too strong. Will stay Illinois basketball out from underneath.
You know, Brittany Carter may not have scored very much tonight, but she's been very, very active on the offensive board. She's kept a lot of plays alive, that being one of them.
Carter, of course, normally sporting the number 20. She's number 1 tonight here for Illinois, sporting some new uniforms. Her number 20 never was delivered in the mail. So she's number 1 on your scorecard here tonight. Here's Wagner off the transition.
Illinois did a good job there defending the basket. They got back, they got multiple people at the rim and forced a bad shot.
You look at this score sheet, and Illinois statistically is doing everything right here to win this basketball game.
They surely are. They've got 18 offensive rebounds. They've got 19 assists, only 6 turnovers to this point. They've just not shot the ball quite as well here in the second half.
And we're nearly lights out. Here's a look here for Kylie Simmons, who answers.
Illinois has done a great job of sharing the ball this evening.
Simmons, a new career high for three-point make. She's got 6 of them tonight. Kylie Simmons.
You know, just very impressive tonight.
Ivory Crawford flirting with a triple-double. 18 points, the 9 assists, and the 8 boards already. We still have 8 minutes to go. So Treese White, who said that she can hit one from back there. She's hit 20 of those, and the putback again, they're from Jackie Grant.
Yeah, that's her 21st offensive rebound tonight.
21 as a team here for Illinois. The Illini on a 7-0 run. Off-balance shot there from Wagner. Again, this Illinois team is a team that gets normally 12 offensive boards.
Yeah, they're up to 21. They're also a team that usually puts their opponents to the free throw line, and Minnesota's only shot 5 free throws tonight.
And Marlene Stallings has seen enough. Jackie wanted some consistency from Jackie Grant. She looks pretty consistent shooting the basketball tonight.
She has from wire to wire to this point. She's been very effective. She's been their biggest offensive threat.
That last bucket from Jackie Grant set a new career high for Ivory Crawford with 10 assists here tonight. So Crawford now with 18 points, 10 assists, and she has 8 rebounds. Lead is up to 12. Illinois is led by as many as 14. Again, the money spot there from Jackie Grant. She can't miss from there.
They're doing a great job of running her on the baseline, distorting the zone, forcing Zally B to close out, and she's not getting there. I look for Minnesota. They play a lot of zone, but they'll start getting more aggressive in their zone defense.
They come up empty-handed on that offensive look. And Illinois has matched its largest lead of the game here at 14. White wanted it on the block, and Illinois instead works it around to Jackie Grant, that time on the other side. Well, she's human from the left side and not so human tonight from the right side on the baseline.
If I'm Illinois, though, I'm going to give her that shot every single time.
She has been lights out tonight. Jackie Grant, 10 of 18 shooting. 22 points and 7 boards. Grant this time will try the 15-footer from outside. 11-0 run. approaching about 4-minute stretch here for Illinois. It was a stretch where Minnesota cut the lead down to 3 and has now gotten the lead back up to 14. Illinois wanted the jump ball call. Instead, Shatrice White will get called for the personal.
I think that's number 4.
That is number 4. And she's fouled out the last 2 games, so she is flirting with doing that again here tonight.
I think they'll probably pull her out and try to milk this for about 2 minutes to get her back in.
So White will have to take a seat here with the 4 personals. And Amanda Zowie-B connects on the second free throw. Approaching the 5-minute mark here in this game, a 12-point advantage here for Illinois. The Illini looking to snap a 7-game losing skid. 6 of those 7 games came without their leading scorer, Ivory Crawford. Looking to get back on the winning track and turn the corner here for Illinois. Carly Wagner from deep. And a loose ball fall there called on Minnesota.
That was good recognition by Minnesota. They looked for the high-low. They saw the defense.
Game.
I'd be ready for a trap here out of the zone.
Minnesota down by 12. Hasn't led once in this game. Here comes that trap. And a quick whistle. And a foul away from the basketball there on Jackie Grant. What made you think they would trap?
Well, I watched them play, and I know that, you know, they're down 12 points with 4 minutes to go. They got to try to make some things happen. They got to try to find a way to create some easy baskets. There's an overload to Zowie-B. They're going to try to take advantage of that mismatch inside now. When
you need an easy bucket, that's one way to get it. Cuts the lead now to 10. Zowie-B with 24.
And I think the last possession they trapped, they waited for the freshman to get the basketball and make the play out of congestion.
And the runner falls off the glass there for Ivory Crawford.
That was a great move.
3 players for Illinois now with 20 or more points here tonight. Wagner can't connect. They got a time.
Best coaching job. You know, she's lost some great players to the WNBA, but having one of their finest seasons.
One of the latest, Alyssa Thomas, a 3-time All-American, but they've done a nice job, especially since that Notre Dame loss early in December to fill the pieces together, and so far unbeaten here in Big Ten play. With the Los Angeles Sparks head coach Brian Aguilar and Lisa Barnes in the and one for Jackie Grant.
Great pass, great finish. I've just been impressed with the recognition. Yeah, great high-low pass from Ivory Crawford to Grant. Good finish. You know, they've got 3 players with 20 points or more. And, you know, to get big wins, you have to have your veteran players step up like this.
25 points so far here for Jackie Grant. Another turnover forced for Illinois. Minnesota has really done, relatively speaking, has done a decent job taking care of the basketball. Normally, Illinois turns teams over about 21 times or 22 times here per game. Minnesota has only coughed it up 12. Illini on a 15-4 run. They get it down to their freshman, Shatrice White.
Another offensive rebound.
That has been one of the major storylines. How about 23 offensive rebounds tonight for Illinois?
They've just had a knack of keeping the ball alive. A lot of tip outs.
Backdoor look to Ivory Crawford. Give the assist to Kylie Simmons.
Illinois has played inspired basketball.
They've been on a mission, and that's going to be number 5 there for Shatrice White. White is now done. But how about the backdoor look? Simmons to Crawford.
Yeah, great play. Crawford read the defense beautifully.
Back the other way, Shatrice White fouling out of this game. You said at the top that this was the matchup you were looking forward to see. What did you see from Shatrice White
Well,
tonight?
I saw a very good basketball player. That's a play that comes from lack of experience. You know, she knows in a big game like this, you want to stay on the floor. You're one of the better players, so you have to stay out of foul trouble. You can get there without fouling.
She's now fouled out in the last 3 games for Shatrice White. Amanda Zawibi now 26. Zawibi with 26 to Ivory Crawford and his team. He compared a Green Bay team in 09 and 2010. Got an at-large bid when they weren't expected to. Compared that to this team. When people think that you're down and out and not giving you credit for anything, he used some of his old coaching examples from some previous teams that have proved some people wrong. We got a foul up top on the ball against Carly Wagner.
Yeah, Coach Ballin just drew on his experience, and I think that if there was one message that he gave his team on Tuesday, it's that there's hope. You know, this season's not over with. Even losing 7 in a row, there's still time to catch fire.
Keep in mind, this is a basketball team that after beating Iowa was 11-4 overall. Crawford makes good on the first. They beat 2 top 20 teams, one in Kentucky and then the other in Iowa. And at that point, they were 2-1 in conference play. And then you're looking at her. Ivory Crawford got hurt, and they suddenly were a different basketball team.
Yeah, they were probably sitting there at that time thinking they're an NCAA tournament team. And then the tide turned on that one injury. They lost their momentum. They lost some confidence. But now they've got it back. So it just goes to show you how a season can turn one way or the other.
They lost their leading scorer January 8th in that Iowa game. A tie-up, a jump ball. It'll stay Minnesota's basketball. But this is, again, before and after Ivory Crawford's injury. This is just her second game back after missing 6 with that knee injury.
You know, even tonight, they were scoring 71 points with her. They're up to 83 right now. They've done a great job offensively, and most of the reason is because of their efficiency.
So they've gotten 23 offensive chances on the offensive boards, and there's an answer from Carly Wagner for 3. Wagner now with 19 for the game.
To be successful. But looking at that Minnesota schedule, I still like the way it sets up for Minnesota. I think there's a lot of games there. They have a chance to rebound for this game tonight.
And there are 3 losses coming into today. Marlene Stallings has said that it's been for different reasons. They had a bad first half against Rutgers. They felt like they just weren't themselves defensively against Purdue. They came out real flat against Northwestern, turned the ball over. And tonight they just came up against a very determined Illinois basketball team. Kylie Simmons now with 21.
I've been impressed with how she sort of controlled the game. You know, at the offensive end, they've not gotten in a rush. They've executed their offense. They've made the extra pass. And a lot of it is just the poise that she's played with.
Simmons, one of the leaders, a redshirt junior. We mentioned a transfer out of Missouri. It's made a big difference in the leadership category. Has made a big difference in the point category here tonight. Short on the 3 attempt from Mulaney. Scramble for the basketball. A jump ball situation will give it to Illinois. Four in double figures here for Illinois. As we mentioned, 3 of those 4 have scored 20 or more points. 25 for Jackie Grant, 22 for Kylie Simmons, 23 for Ivory Crawford.
Yeah, pretty soon they'll be put on the free throw line.
Mulaney does exactly that. They elect to put Brittany Carter out there. I want to remind you, coming up next, BTN Basketball Report presented by BMW. That'll come up after this game has concluded. Brittany Carter, her first points here tonight, coming off a 10 rebound performance though this evening. She's done it in other ways here for Illinois.
I think when the coaches go back and watch this film tonight, they're obviously statistically you're going to look at, Grant and Simons and Crawford, but Brittany Carter has been extremely aggressive and active. She's created a lot of opportunities for Illinois, just with her aggressiveness and her hustle.
Kayla Bailey with the foul, and that'll force Amara Coleman to the free throw line. Illinois has made a 22-8 run, really in the final 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, we were talking. I thought Minnesota was going to come back and get the lead here. They've never led the whole night. They cut it to 3 and had some opportunities, but couldn't get over the hump.
Big free throws keep coming here for the Illini.
When you get a performance like this out of a team, after going through a stretch of not tasting success, it has the ability to turn a season around. And I would not be surprised, I should say, that if Illinois will play some great basketball down the stretch.
And we showed you what they have coming up here on their schedule. But this was a much-needed win for this team. It snaps a 7-game losing skid. Now, again, 6 of those 7 losses came without Ivory Crawford. But now they have their leading scorer back. And now they're getting a little bit of their swagger back, it looks like, tonight.
Yeah, there's no question. They're playing with a purpose. They came down at almost every single possession. They passed the ball, they moved the ball. They knew what they wanted to find for themselves.
Jackie Grant flirting with a career high. She's got 27. Her career high is 29 earlier against Penn State. Illinois has hit the 90-point mark here tonight. Here are some of your upcoming BTN games you can watch here on the network. Rutgers and Maryland, that's a big one. A battle between 2 top 25 teams. And then following that, Iowa and Nebraska, Purdue and Rutgers, Northwestern Michigan, Ohio State, and Illinois. So about 2 or 3 battles here between a few top 25 teams here in conference play. You can check that out here on BTN. This is the second of 2 games here tonight. And it's celebration time here for Illinois. The subs come in, the starters come out. Jackie Grant is the only starter left here for Illinois in this game. And that'll end here. Grant tying her career high with 29 as she exits.
They've played a great game tonight.
Breeza McDaniel in for the first time for Minnesota.
And for Illinois, it's been a while since they felt like this. So it's very rewarding for them.
At the line for Minnesota, getting her
Illinois doing it in impressive fashion, putting up 92 points. Just the second time this year that they've scored 90 or more. Again, coming up next, BTN Basketball Report presented by BMW. The 3 look for Sarah Hartwell. Everyone's getting involved. 95 total points here for Illinois. Part of a 31-8 run here to close the game in the final 10 minutes. And Illinois has snapped its 7-game losing skid to beat Minnesota 95-69.
Very impressed with their play.